This is Kay Fitzwater, and you're watching my channel. So this is not necessarily part of the Pantser method, but a general problem overall for any new writer that just finished their story for the first time. And I'm here to tell you what not to do after you finished your first draft. This goes to anyone who's a pantser, anyone who's a plotter, or a mix of both. Doesn't matter. This goes to everyone. So number one of what not to do after you finish your draft is to publish it immediately. As Hemingway says, the first draft is crap. Now you're probably saying, but it's perfect. It's perfect. It's the best story out there. It's the greatest of them of all time. I can't wait to show it to everyone because it's brilliant. Hold your horses. You're only thinking of that because you're on a celebration mood. You finished the project. This is not the time to publish. This is the time to celebrate. Do not send it out there. Why? Because people are going to recognize the errors in your story and you're not going to accept the criticism they have to offer. It's going to be crappy. It looks great to you because you just got done with it. Give it some time, come back to your story, then you will see the problems that comes from it. Number two, working on it immediately. You are done with the first draft. Now you're just ready to get into editing because that is the next phase. I have problems in this story. I gotta get right on it as soon as possible and get rid of those errors. So I'm going to tell you to cool your heels. Give it some time. Yes, you already noticed some errors as you are working through your story. You made those side notes to yourself. You're going to need to wait regardless. Why you need to wait? Because you only were notating the nitty-gritty problems of your story. Stepping back and waiting for a cold read is going to help you identify the big problems of your story. The big problems are your plot holes, your character arcs, whether it is the right setting, pacing, that's another big one, etc. You are not going to be able to identify those problems if you work immediately afterwards. Take some time, wait for a moment, do a hard cold read without looking at your notes, see if you could re-identify them on top of any new problems that you discovered. You'll thank yourself later. So you took some time away from your work. It probably took a week, probably a month. You probably worked on something else, which is brilliant. And now you're ready to go and edit this bitch. You already did a reading and you just want to get down and work on it. So the third worst thing you could do is to edit without a plan. Everyone just says, well, there's 3 stages of editing. You just read it on a computer and you edit from there. You edit from the paper, then you edit from speaking out loud. And you're going to notice the problems. So editing is a lot more than just that. Editing is about identifying plot issues, your character issues, your pacing issues, all the way down to whether you have problems with POV, with your voice, whether you're maintaining the theme of your story. And on top of the grammatical errors and making sure it is readable for the general audience. So you need to have a plan of attack. You need to identify what is the major problem of your story and work on it. Of course, you're probably saying, well, my major problem is my story. You know, that is the problem. The story is the problem. I'm asking you to break down what you're identifying and break down what you need to do to tackle those problems. Now, of course, you're a pantser. You like to create things out of the blue. You like to work on it on the whim, and it's a wonderful way to be creative. You're still going to need to have a plan, a problem you're going to need to fix. And it's not just the general story, it's going to have to be something specific. For instance, when I took a cold read of the Doppelganger Queen, I realized that my main hero was not interacting with my villain. If I had worked immediately afterwards, I would not have recognized it. And if I had edited without a plan, I would not know how to tackle that issue. And the way I tackle the issue is making sure I have events and scenes that allow them to come together at certain points in the story. So you're going to have a different problem than I do, and you're going to have to identify what those problems are, make a small list, and then work on it as you go through. And the last but not least, number 4, showcasing your first draft to someone else when you're not ready to hear the feedback. The first draft is meant for you. It's meant for you to put the story down on paper. It's meant to give you more flesh on bone, so that way you could start working on it in your future drafts. This is the beginning of the whole writing process. It's not meant for anyone else but you. If you have a critique partner that have been helping you along the way, it's now time to go ahead and take a step back, wait, and then you do your reading, and you do it by yourself. Your critique partner could be a great cheerleader, helping you and guiding you to identify the problems that you have if it was in your first draft. But I hear more than often that it's better off to wait after a couple of drafts before you send it to your critique partner, and I agree. But don't ever, keep working on it and never had anyone look at it. That's where beta readings come in, that's what critique partners come in, that's what writing groups are all about. It's to help give you a second eye when you have been working on it so long, you lost objectivity. But that's later. That's after several drafts later. Right now, this is the first draft. And it won't take much for you to identify the problems yourself by giving yourself some distance, taking some time to congratulate yourself, taking some time to work on something else, and then doing a cold read without taking any notes, and see what you could come up with. Look at the problems that you have, come up with a plan, and then work on it. And that's it. That is my video of the 4 things you should not do after you have your first draft. So I hope you like this video. If you do, give this a thumbs up. If you want to share this out to everyone else, the share button is right there. I have many more videos on my channel. You're more than welcome to subscribe and look through them as you so wish. And in case that I have future issues and uploadings, or I've been sick, go ahead and hit that bell. That way, any late video, you'll be able to know when I put it up. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye!